her son, Ian Newman. I'm lucky enough to call both Ian and Larry my friends, so I told her I'd be honored, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. You guys are a really impressive bunch. Many of you knew Ian, but I'll provide a little bit of background for those who didn't have the privilege. Ian graduated with a degree in classical civilization from UC Berkeley. After Berkeley, he traveled to Scotland to study at the University of St. Andrews, where he earned a master's in literature. In 2009, he earned his JD from Golden Gate University School of Law, and went on to pass the California bar on his first try.
Can you just move a little closer to the mic? Thanks so much.
Ian was an avid traveler, museum junkie, philosopher, and as I just found out last night, poker player. Relevant to this audience, though, Ian also had a significant physical disability, congenital muscular dystrophy, which seemed to vanish in the background of everything else he did. I didn't meet Ian at first, I merely saw him. I saw him zooming by at enviable speeds through the streets of Berkeley while we were both students there. Somehow his chair always went faster than mine. Through others, I also heard about him. I heard he was a genius. I heard he had been admitted to Berkeley at the age of 13, which wasn't quite true. It was actually 15. Well, we certainly met at Berkeley. It wasn't until Ian was a law student here at GGU that we started talking in earnest. We, of course, talked about the usual attendant care, finals, bar exam, job prospects, but we started talking about lawyers with disabilities and how the legal community needed a dramatic change to correct the severe underrepresentation of people with disabilities. We wondered where were the leaders where were the people with disabilities in leadership positions throughout our legal community? Where were the bar leaders, the partners? He also started showing up at events and volunteering to get involved in the legal community. I was so excited to see this dynamic, genius, supersonic kid turn into a respected member of our legal community. And I had no doubt that he would do this. Unfortunately, Ian passed away about a year ago, so we are left with Ian's legacy instead of Ian himself. In preparing to speak today, I thought a little bit about Ian's legacy and what exactly that meant for this audience. I think Ian was an exceptional person first and foremost. His worldly perspective and great wit set him apart from his peers much more so than his disability did. And I think that quality really allowed him to be an extremely effective advocate without ever trying to be. So for you, as law students who are training to become advocates for your clients, of course, and because of your disability for yourselves, I encourage you to keep your perspective. You clearly have that by being here and being so involved in your community. Law school is really tough, and this conference covers many of the important issues you're facing. You've had so much good advice from so many wonderful panelists today, and I encourage you to take that with you. Ian's legacy challenges each of us to develop as an exceptional person first, and not just an exceptional lawyer or law student or person with a disability. More formally, though, Ian's legacy means you are about to hear from the first Ian C. Mackey Newman speaker. Ian's friends, peers, and family established the Ian Mackey Newman Memorial Fund in the hope that Ian's spirit would be preserved in a program that reveals the determination and strength of attorneys with disabilities and, above all, their capabilities for this craft. The mission of the Ian C. Mackey Newman Memorial Fund is to support a program that will promote disability awareness in the legal field. The program seeks out avenues to highlight attorneys specializing in a variety of areas who have represented the population of attorneys with disabilities who have pursued successful legal careers based on superior intellectual abilities and adeptness for the law. If you're interested about this fund, please ask me or contact the Golden Gate University Office of Advancement. So, our keynote speaker is Larry Paradis. As you know from the program materials, he's very accomplished. He's the co-founder and executive director and co-director of litigation for Disability Rights Advocates, DRA. The fact that DRA is so well represented at this conference is a testament to Larry's leadership in the community. Larry's distinguished career includes being an associate and then partner at the law firm of Miller, Starr, and Regalia, where he focused on complex business litigation as well as pro bono civil rights work, two things you don't usually hear together. At DRA, Mr. Paradis specializes in class actions and other high-impact disability rights litigation. He's handled many precedent-setting cases in employment, housing, transportation, education, insurance, and public accommodations. If you rode BART, walked down the sidewalks, or have ever gone shopping online at Target, you experience greater accessibility from the good work that DRA and Larry have done. He's not only a world-class litigator, but a great collaborator when it comes to promoting the rights of people with disabilities. and I encourage you to reach out to him in your profession as you continue on. You can read about his other many accolades in the program, but I think you probably want to just hear from Larry. So I'm going to turn it over. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker.
Thank you so much, Christina. Is this volume well? Is this good enough?
I don't think the mic's on, right?
How's that?
That's better.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That helps. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Golden Gate University Law School. Thank you all participants to this conference. I'm very gratified that I was asked to be the first keynote speaker in this series. There are so many leaders in this community that could, and I hope we will, hear from in the future. So it really gratifies me that I'm able to contribute to this conference. I've been at several of these conferences of NALSWD. It's just thrilling to me to see how each year your numbers grow. The panelists that you present every year are stellar. These are leaders in the legal community, and the opportunity to bring them together, to hear from them all, I think is just unique and a testament to the organizing will and spirit and energy of the NALSWD organizers and members. So I just want to say first thank you. As I was thinking about this speech today, I was thinking about what it is to be a law student or a lawyer with a disability in today's age. And it strikes me that as lawyers and law students with disabilities, we have two unique roles. First, as lawyers, we are able to do what I think every law student and lawyer wants to do with their career. We can fight to make this world a more just and better place for others and for the future. We can represent people who have been denied basic civil rights. We can help those who are the powerless. We can bring cases that are transforming the society around us. And that's what lawyers with us at Disability Rights Advocates and with all of the other legal organizations for people with disabilities have been doing the last 20 years, and even before that under the Rehab Act. We have been transforming our world in so many ways. When it comes to education, we've opened up doors for people with all kinds of disabilities, to high school, college, law school, medical school, the professions. There's virtually no career now that people with disabilities don't have some access to, in part because of the many precedent-setting cases that lawyers, civil rights lawyers have brought. Access to public accommodations, to transportation, to housing, to public services. Every field of mainstream life now, you'll see people with disabilities entering and participating in ways that could not have been dreamed of 40 years ago. There are blind doctors now. There are deaf lawyers. There are engineers with learning disabilities. Every field of modern life, people with disabilities are breaking down barriers, in part because of the precedent-setting statutes like the ADA, in part because of society itself recognizing that disability is not what it's always been considered for hundreds of years, something to be feared, something separate and apart, something to be pitied, or something to be cured. That's been the road of disability over the centuries up until the last 40 years. And then starting with the Rehabilitation Act and then the ADA, a civil rights model that has totally transformed our society. And as lawyers and law students with disabilities, we are in an exciting time where we can transform the society even more. as much progress has been made, there is a huge amount still to be done. I think we all know this. There are many people in this room who work day and night to make society more accessible and to help people with disabilities be full participants in society. But we know that the barriers are still so profound out there. And I'll touch on some of those in a bit. But the other thing is the types of disabilities that are part of our community are so vast, and they're represented here at this conference. I use a power wheelchair. Others of you use canes and assist dogs because you're blind or low vision. Others are using cart because you're deaf or hard of hearing. There are some of you here with learning disabilities, some with psychiatric disabilities. We are now welcoming into our community of disability soldiers with PTSD, coming back from war with brain injuries. The spectrum of disabilities is so vast, it's really hard to cover them all. And when you think about making every area of life accessible to that broad range of people with so many different conditions, the task ahead is really vast. And we've really just started the road, the journey, to a society which ultimately we hope will be one where whatever your disability, you won't find a door barring your way to whatever your dream happens to be. So that's one end of, one aspect of being a lawyer or a law student with a disability is you are in a position to transform the world for the better. And what more could you hope for in life? And in a legal profession, what could be a higher goal than to do that? At the same time, as people with disabilities, we are experiencing those very same barriers that we're fighting to help our clients and our constituency overcome. Every one of you has gone through a personal journey that reflects the experience of disability. And every one of you, it's slightly different, but there's some common bonds. Some people, of course, are born with disabilities, and they're visible, and they live that through their life, and it's something that they now feel natural with. And others become disabled later in life. For me, that was my experience. I have a genetic disease, and it happened to me in my first year of law school. I broke some bones. I found I had a brittle bone disease, and found that I could no longer walk. Others have invisible disabilities, learning disabilities, psychiatric disabilities. They struggle with issues about being out of the closet with their condition, whether to do that. I think most people who have not been born with a disability but become disabled, they deal with the struggle internally of what does this mean to me, my life now? There's issues of shame. There's issues of people are staring at me now. There's issues of